Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your SmackDown review, the first WWE program of 2019. And, we understand, right? There's excuses, poor them. They couldn't put out a good show because no one was going to watch it because it was Christmas Eve. Okay, so, there's SmackDown. It's Christmas Day. Okay. Now we move on and we've got New Year's Eve, right? So no one's going to watch that because everybody's going to be out partying, So we know that. So we give them a break, right? Give them the benefit of the doubt. It was a holiday show. Okay. So now we've got New Year's Day. Now, okay, no one celebrates New Year's Day. They celebrate New Year's Eve. So this show's taking place on New Year's Day. And you could argue that it's a holiday. But, people don't have an excuse not really to watch this show. You know what I'm saying? There's other sports. How come they don't need to make excuses? Of course, a lot of the smarks out there, they're going to make a lot of excuses. Oh, the show was great. Somebody told me that JD thought that Raw was good. And, I hold no ill will against him. I don't know why anyone would really enjoy or put this show over if they were being honest. But he's entitled to his opinion. But I'm just saying, I can't believe that there are some people in the YWC who actually enjoyed this show. And, like I said, JD is entertained by this show. If anyone was entertained by this show, then that's fantastic. If you can sit through this and be entertained, I envy you. I mean, I also, don't know, how that's even humanly possible if you were a human. But, it would be nice to be able to watch this show and make a video and actually talk about it like you genuinely enjoy it. So if he's able to do that, that's fantastic for him. I kind of envy that quality. Hell, something? I think maybe the videos would get more views, right, if I was just all positive all the time. But I guess that's the thing, Maybe I'm a bit too negative about the show. Maybe a bit too honest about the show. But this is just pretty much how I feel. I think you guys know that, So if I talked about it all positive, I could tell by the YouTube comment section that there would be a lot more, probably I'll be reaping more rewards view-wise. But that's not what we're all about here on this channel. We've never been about that, catering to certain people at all. Who we cater to on this channel? My own brain. What I feel is what I say in this video. I've always said that. It doesn't matter what my most dedicated subscriber thinks. I'm not going to purposely try to align my viewpoints just to please anybody. And I feel that the most dedicated subscribers, and I know this for a fact, actually appreciate that quality. So let's start off from the top with New Day coming out and, partying it up, right? So Biggie is dressed up as Baby New Year. This segment was so disconjointed. I don't even know how to interpret it. You had Biggie doing Steiner math. They were basically saying all this bullshit just to get across the point that all three of them are going to be in the Royal Rumble match. All three of them. So right there, that's already 3 wasted spots. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I look at the roster and I'm just saying, if you're going to just put a tag team in there, that's just lazy in my opinion. I guess maybe I'm trying to think of who's injured and who might not be available at that time. So maybe I have to take that into consideration. But 3 spots to New Day? I mean, oh, Jesus. I mean, did they have some new arriving people? Unless, you're going to have certain wrestlers having matches that are not going to be involved. I don't know what they have planned. I don't think they even know what they have planned, to be quite honest, based on the way things are going. So, they're going to be all in there, and you know, they also talked about they're finally giving up Pancakes, and that's very good. I will definitely commend WWE for, you know, finally giving up one of the most annoying little things about them. The fucking Pancakes, which never even made sense to begin with. I think there was a good majority that thought it was funny. I mean, there's nothing like having a continuous joke air every single week for a year straight. I mean, that's just great comedy. That would be like a comedian going out there every single act, just saying the same joke over and over and over. I mean, that's just so hilarious. That's comedic gold. I mean, that's how you come across and entertain, right? By saying the same thing over and over. But then again, I'm a guy who starts every video by saying, hello there, motherfucker. So what do I know, right? But I found this segment to be really annoying. It really solidified how just annoying and grating the New Day's whole act is and how stale it is. I mean, you know, it's like I'm just waiting for when, you know, Big E is going to rear back and just beat these two guys senseless. I am so sick and tired of, you know, especially after Xavier Woods' comments. And I still keep getting comments on that video. Do you guys know that people are still defending Xavier Woods? That he's actually, people are actually saying that he was right, that we're entitled fans. You know, I can't believe that. Oh yes, Xavier, you're right. I mean, we're talking about a guy that, you know, you hear this guy talk and you can just tell he's so out of touch about like what wrestling is supposed to be about, how it went about back in the day. You know, now it's very sterilized. Oh, we got to be really nice in the locker room, even though they're screwing everybody over and they don't want to put anybody over as a star. To me, that's worse. I'd rather have, you know, a locker room that was built on respect, like the Undertaker. Yeah, there might have been politics. You know, people complain about the Hogans and things like that. You know, I get that. We don't want to have an abusive environment. But how come during those, you know, abusive environments that, you know, what culture loves to talk about, the Undertaker was abusive? You know, it's really funny that you only really hear the dirt sheets ever talking about that. And the wrestlers that criticize him were the guys that, you know, probably would have never gotten over to begin with, even if the whole entire WWE machine was directly behind them. But notice the people that truly deserve to be there only have good things to say about him, such as the Stone Colds and the Shawn Michaels. And The Undertaker played a big role in putting those people over. So you don't hear anybody that's worth a damn, basically, ever saying anything bad about The Undertaker. And he's always said to be a locker room bully and everything. You know, one week it's JBL, next week it's Undertaker. I don't know. All I'm saying is a locker room full of goofballs like this. You know, the future is grim. And I mean, these guys have been in the locker room now for a good 5 fucking years, haven't they? So, what does that tell you? Samoa Joe defeated Jeff Hardy in a fatal 5-way qualifying match. Jeff Hardy lost here. You know, the thing is, okay, I try not to pay too much attention to the WWE comments section on their YouTube channel for all their videos. And you know, like I said, you want to talk about some brainwashed people. You know, it's a lot of people. It's, you know, different types on there. But a lot of people, like, and some of these comments even get, like, thumbed up quite a bit. People want to see Jeff Hardy as the WWE champion. And to be quite honest, so do I. I want to see him. And, you know, thing is, speaking of the WWE champion, where was Daniel Bryan tonight? And we'll get to that a little bit later on. So I guess I'll save that rant more towards the end of the video. But, you know, I'm just kind of thinking here. It's like, this is just, you know, like Jeff Hardy just being wasted. You know, they brought him on the SmackDown. It was supposed to be a breath of fresh air for Jeff, right? Give him the U.S. title. Then they give it to Nakamurphy, and he just kind of, toys around with it. They barely even feature him on TV, and Jeff has just been like wandering aimlessly, like so many others on the roster who are talented just like Jeff, like Bobby Lashley and Elias and Bobby Roode. I mean, Bobby Roode has a championship, and he's wandering aimlessly anyway in a pointless tag team when he should be in singles, being one of the most charismatic wrestlers in the main event, or at least in the upper mid card. So backstage, you have AJ Styles. He comes in, he says he's not going to apologize to Vince McMahon. He does a little threat to Shane McMahon. This was it. We get like too fucking short. Like, I mean, okay, they always want to do like in-ring stuff. This, in my opinion, would have been time to do something maybe in-ring, or do a longer conversation in the back. Like, so why did AJ go nuts all of a sudden? Because McMahon poked him a few times? It was just like, Triple H, like, it didn't take much to put these guys over the edge. So, like, everybody's crazy, right? Daniel Bryan is crazy. So Dean Ambrose is crazy. AJ is crazy. Seth Rollins is crazy. Daniel Bryan is crazy. Everyone's crazy. Alicia Fox is crazy. Whoa! Hey! Somehow, though, they don't know how to go full force or make it believable at any possible degree where we could even start to believe that their character would take on this transformation. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, do you realize like how many wrestlers are playing the role now of someone who snapped or turned on the crowd? Oh, I hate you guys. I mean, they're all the same character. It's so funny that everybody wanted to see John Cena turn heel or see Roman Reigns turn heel. And they won't give us those heel turns, but they'll turn everybody else. Whoa! Like on a dime, just everyone turns, does a complete 180 just like this. One guy turns, like several months into his return, even though it would have made more sense in Daniel Bryan's case to, cut that promo at the beginning of his return. Turn on Shane McMahon at WrestleMania, but instead he starts, wallowing away in a feud with Big Cass, and they wait like almost until the end of the year. It was more than a few months now that I think of it, and then it's time for Bryan to get crazy, and then AJ, all it takes is an old man basically, poking him a few times. A very strange old man that speaks in a very low, gravelly voice. You've got Seth Rollins being pushed over the edge. Telling him, "Oh, you've lost your drive." I mean, like, come on. Can we at least make an effort to have some sort of story to at least make any of this make a lick of sense? So we could start to understand why these characters, like, you can say, oh, Brad, you always ask for character development. Yes, but key word is development. It has to develop. And, it's either that they do this slow build, like they'll do a feud that lasts forever, such as Bayley and Sasha versus the Riot Squad, that goes on for months and months and months. It's gaining momentum, I guess, but it never goes anywhere. Or it's just that it doesn't go anywhere, or it's way too soon. They pull the trigger. So it's like they don't know when to pull the trigger. When it's been long enough and when it be the right time. And then sometimes they just pull the trigger just fucking out of nowhere where it doesn't even need to be pulled. So I have to ask the question. It's like, this is complete incompetence in almost every single way by the creative team of Vince McMahon. I mean, like, they just said 2 weeks ago, we're going to change the game. We're listening to you. We're going to alter this show. We're going to make it better. Now, they didn't address anything about, stories and everything. They talk about the perspective of people putting on good matches. Seth Rollins is telling Triple H, I put on classics. it's a fake show, you know, but he's talking about, oh, classics and everything, and it's like anybody would care about the quality of the matches. You know, if you're on the show, you're supposed to be playing it to the perspective that this is real, that it's not just a television show. So Rollins is saying, oh, I'm just, you know, I'm happy having good matches. I should, you know, get rewarded for having good matches. You know, like he's trying to please like Dave Meltzer or some shit instead of like the authority figure on the show. So I mean, everything's just a fucking mess. We have Rusev celebrating. You know, what did he say this time around? Oh yeah, I got it. I forgot to write it down, but it's like engraved in my brain now that I think of it. So Rusev went from entering the ring on the tank at WrestleMania several years ago, and what's he doing now? He's cutting a promo saying that he smells like a bacon flavored cinnamon bun, and I'm like, the fuck? I mean, first he talks about having his beard woven into sweaters for babies, and I'm like, what the fuck are they doing with this guy? Like, okay, I don't get it. So first he's, you know, the America hating pro-Russian. First he's, you know, from Bulgaria. Then they move him to Russia to make it a bit more consistent. You know, and then what do they do? Now he's an American. First he's like obsessed with a fake holiday. Now he's going on and you know, going on and like saying these like weird fucking jokes that, you know, I mean, it sounds like some internet humor that they're going for here, but it being like aimed at like 5-year-olds, where I've actually seen YouTube channels that are aimed at like kids that have, you know, more sophisticated humor, to be more quite fucking honest. I mean, I've seen you know, I've seen like kids shows be more sophisticated with the humor. I'm thinking back to like when I was a kid in some of the cartoons like on Nickelodeon, and I see even cartoons on TV that are more advanced than some of the bullshit that they say on this show. I mean, who's entertained by this? You know, it's so. I mean, I don't know. Like, what do you want Rusev to be? Is he a tough guy? Is he the jokey, fun-loving power lifter that's, you know, used to hate America, but now he loves it? Like, who is he? Can we at least, you know, explain why he's had this change of heart? You know, why he's had so many different character switches? Or could it just be maybe that they're just so fucking incompetent they can't tell that story? I think it's that one. I think it's the latter. So Nakamurphy attacks him from behind, you know, whatever. Sonya Deville pinned Naomi after distraction from Mandy Rose. I like how they're doing a little bit of story here with Naomi, even though one of the Usos, you know, who is it, Jimmy, or you know, he wasn't even present. You know, he's being accused of this shit. He's not even there. I don't know, they taped the show, so I don't know if they were still entertaining the troops or whatever the case may have been. I mean, I don't really get who was there and who wasn't there, and like where these people are and why they're not featured on the show. Anyway, so, you know, you guys know I've been big on Sonya Deville, but like, you know, they give her a win here, and it's just like, okay, she beat Naomi. She also said something that was super cringy. I gotta talk about this. So, I follow some of the wrestlers, as I said, on Instagram. I don't follow Sonya Deville, but I saw on the main WWE Instagram page, which I do follow, they showed a bunch of women. And, you know, they showed, I'm gonna get to this segment in a minute. So, you know, later on in the show, when did this happen? Well, it happens a little bit later on in the show, but I might as well talk about it as it relates. So, we're going to talk about later on in the show, during a backstage segment, a bunch of girls, you know, vying for Asuka's title. I'll talk about it a little bit more in depth later on. But, she comments saying, you know, well, what, WWE, what, you know, what about me? Like, replying to their Instagram page, you know, you being their employee and like saying, "Where's my shot?" I mean, like, I don't know. Does like Vince McMahon look at that page and be like, "Well, I gotta give her a shot because she commented on the Instagram"? I mean, like, isn't that just so fucking cringy? I mean, the WWE Instagram is cringy enough with some of the shit they posted. I mean, take a look at some of the top 5 moments of the year that they posted. I mean, it's cringe enough. You don't need to have wrestlers, you know, commenting on the official pages. You know, is this some attempt at trying to make things look legit? Like you don't see like any like football players or UFC fighters tweeting those official pages. Why? Because, well, for one, they're more mature, and second of all, you know, okay, maybe it's real. I don't know why they do it. Wrestlers are such marks nowadays. It's like they still never left the fandom. And I get that. You know, you want to be a fan. You want to be on the same level as the fans. You enjoy what you do. I get that. I appreciate that. But you also have to think like a businessman, too. This is your career. And, you know, this childish shit that they do on social media, it's first of all, it's already gotten a lot of wrestlers in trouble. You know, trying to post their whole life on there, and there's been tons of conflicts of interest on there and shit. So, I don't even know why they continue doing it. They make fools out of themselves. It takes away from their allure. It's a lot of, like with a lot of these actors when they give their personal opinions. You know, you learn, and then if you learn that you disagree with them, there's a disconnect and everything. So I'd much rather that they shut the fuck up and they just play their characters on TV. But, you know, I guess a lot of people enjoy hearing what they have to say online. So, also, Deville's finisher. What is that? I had to play that back, actually, because it looked like Naomi countered that into a DDT. But apparently it's a vertical suplex into some type of Uranagi slam. But it's like, she lowers her head down so much, it looks like the opponent is, like, doing a move to her. Like, not like she's doing a move to them. And I don't even get that move for, like, a UFC fighter. Give her something fucking better than that. I mean, honestly. John Cena comes out, and, you know, he cuts a promo, and, you know, okay, you just felt right away, the guy coming out, that, I'm not blowing smoke up anybody's ass, but let's be fucking honest here. The show's been boring as shit. Seeing Cena coming out, a very familiar face, a guy that emits energy the minute you see him, and you notice it was like the crowd was fucking fast asleep, and they woke up out of a coma the minute Cena's music hit. So, see, I don't understand, like, they're giving Cena so much shit on his hair. I think the guy actually looks good. You know, it's like, oh, get a haircut. Like, do you guys understand that that's, like, a normal haircut? Like, that people get the side part. I have it. You know, I don't care if people give me shit over it. If the guy likes the haircut, leave him the fuck alone. I mean, I don't understand, like, why it's becoming such a big thing. I get it's a meme, but it's like enough already. It's just hair. And there's funnier memes online. Stop trying to make a meme out of a fucking another dude's hair. That's just fucking lame. So this brings out Becky Lynch. Cena's asking for somebody to come out and challenge him. And right away we get Cringy Lynch, which I think I'm going to start this year by calling it. I understand that everybody's a big fan of her. And I was on board at the beginning too. But there's a lot of factors that really ruined this for me. Okay, so we'll start from the top. Number one, it's just the overwhelming smarky reaction to it. Like, Becky Lynch is the best fucking thing ever. The best thing that we've ever seen. It's like the guy in NXT. What's his name? You know, Tomasa Chalupa, whatever the fuck his name is. Anyway, the guy who played Palmer Cannon on SmackDown. Remember that character that he played? Anyway, whatever. So, the guy that had the feud with Johnny Gargano. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, they blow him up big time, saying he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, you know. And they're doing the same thing with Becky Lynch. Oh my God, she's brilliant. She's getting all it was is that she turned heel and people liked it. Then they had to take it to a whole nother level. She's becoming the next Stone Cold. And that's where you guys saw I made the video on it. People started to lose me. I said, okay, I like Becky Lynch. I think she's a good talent. You know, she's an attractive girl and everything. She's trying something new out. She's trying to have fun with it. I get it. But Stone Cold Steve Austin, my favorite wrestler of all time, the greatest character to ever step into a ring of any type when it comes to wrestling. I mean, Stone Cold is the elite. I mean, not only is the guy funny, not only did he come off tough. I mean, you notice that? Notice how Stone Cold could be funny, but still be super fucking tough and seem like he could kick your ass while still being a good wrestler. Notice he had that all down, the presence, everything. Everything was just right with Stone Cold. And then you look at Becky Lynch. And you know, you have all these moments flying through your head about Stone Cold. You know, you think about Austin versus McMahon. You think of Austin breaking into Brian Pillman's house. You think of the excellent Stone Cold and Bret Hart match at WrestleMania 13. You think of, you know, Stone Cold and The Rock having an epic WrestleMania 17 main event. You know, you think of Stone Cold in the supermarket with Booker T. You think of Stone Cold and The Rock singing Margaritaville on Raw. You know, you know, you think about the Zamboni, you think about the beer truck, you think about all these great moments. And then you think about Becky Lynch. And she's, and I know you people are going to say, oh, Brad, you know, you're exaggerating here to make a point. You know, we're not saying that she's exactly like Stone Cold, but there's similar qualities. Look, I get it. You guys see I can play devil's advocate. I can see both sides of the argument. But I'll tell you something. As much as I'm playing devil's advocate here, you know, it just sounds fucking lame. Stone Cold, she's not. And the other point I want to make here is that she tries a little bit too hard. It started off good or decent. Now she's just like, but the man is here, you know, it's just like her delivery is so cartoonish now. It's like she's not a tough guy. No one's taking her as tough because she doesn't look tough. She doesn't sound tough. It's basically like a wrestler that was like, you know, a nice girl that's all of a sudden, you know, trying to be tough. It's almost like in a movie, like when the nerdy girl tries to fit in. You know, it's like Mean Girls or something like that. It's just like she's not cut out for it. She just doesn't really fit into that group. And that's what it is. It's basically like she's trying to be like one of the cool kids and just not really getting that, like, when you start becoming that cartoonish, that, you know, you start to lose the credibility and you kind of lose sight of like what you were going for in the first place, and it's not good. She's not coming across very well at all. And I'm just saying, so, you know, this leads to Almas and Zelina Vega coming out, and of course, you know, Cena and Becky Lynch come out on top. So, you know, you have Vegas saying that, you know, there's supposed to be a fresh start, but yet there's a familiar face there. And, you know, Wade Keller's like, oh, Vega had a good point. Oh, does she? Let me explain something about this. So, you know, I don't get comments like this from Keller. So, you know, Keller, here's the point. WWE promised us a fresh start. You get that. You're just as critical as I am. I understand that. I appreciate that about you. You know, you understand that this whole fresh new start, this, you know, we're listening to the fans, to crock of shit. I mean, you know, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that they're full of shit. They've done things like this before. They have Dixie Carter syndrome, right? We have a big announcement and then it's going to be something lame like a fucking tour in India or something like that. You know, no big announcement. Nothing that's going to raise the ratings, nothing that's going to change the game on how the company is run or anything like that. So, you know, just, it's a moot point at this point. It's moot. It's moot. It really is. So, but the thing is, Wade Keller say, oh, that's a good point. Listen, you know, Wade, the fact of the matter is here that if WWE didn't have people like Cena and others, then this product would be tanking big time already. You see that. I hope he stays around for a while, because like they're just not surviving. That surge of energy, I haven't felt that shit in months. You know, none of these guys are getting it done. I mean, they could, like I said, there's so much potential with somebody like Elias to have that surge of energy, but you know, they're just not putting him in the proper position where he could receive that kind of reaction, because everything he's always involved in is so disinteresting all the time. So then they could do there. So you had the match backstage. It's cringe time again, right? So you know, the Miz and Shane McMahon, for some reason, they're a tag team. So Miz has got an easel set up, you know, with a flip chart. He's got some designs with his ring jackets and everything. And, you know, he's showing it to Shane. Shane, you know, he acts like he doesn't like one. Then he says that one of them is okay. And then he kind of slowly walks away. And Miz doesn't even notice. Ha, ha, ha. You know, what a waste. So it's like the Miz tries his hardest to be one of the most over characters on the roster and succeeds, and his reward is this, whatever this is. So, you know, there you go. I mean, happy 2019 for the Miz. You know, you work hard and you get nothing to show for it. Okay, I guess you get to work with one of the McMahons, but in a fucking tag team match? Like, from the perspective of the Miz's character, why is he never interested in wrestling for the world title? Backstage, we see Asuka. This was the segment I was mentioning before that Sonya Deville commented on Instagram. Charlotte, you know, is backstage. You know, Becky Lynch pops out of nowhere. Triple H is asking Asuka, you know, who does she want to face next? And you know, Asuka is like smiling, shaking hands with Triple H. So it's like, okay, I understand that you always smiled, but it was more of a menacing smile, or at least it was meant to come off that way. Now she's just like, oh, thank you. Like, what? Like, I don't understand this. Triple H is supposed to be like this kind, nice guy to the girls, you know, like a mentor and everything. And it's just such phony business, really. And it's like they wanted to make her like ruthless, right? Wasn't that the whole character on NXT? Like, she's this girl that could kick somebody's head off and everything, and rightfully so. Like I said, I've actually started to like Asuka, but she's backstage smiling her ass off, just like Ronda Rousey. You know, the big smile, like good talents, but once again, this character that, you know, they're just smiling. They're happy to be champion. They're happy to be there. And I don't get it. So, you know, they said they're going to take it under advisement. All of a sudden, Carmella feels like going for the title again. So why not? There was a backstage segment where you had the New Year's resolutions, kind of like they did on Raw. Shelton Benjamin ripped the sheet down, revealing the locker room area behind him. That was just kind of awkward. I don't even know if that was supposed to be funny or tough or anything. What a waste. Another one. Shelton Benjamin, so talented. You know, he's in the best shape of his career, at least in my opinion. And he's just hanging around doing absolutely nothing. So I don't know if this means that he's going to get pushed or whatever the case may be. The Iconics were also in this package, and let's just hope we don't see too much of them in 2019. That's all I'm going to say about that. And then finally in the main event, AJ Styles wins the Fatal 5-Way. So you had Joe, Mustafa Ali. Who else was in this thing? You know, whoever else it fucking was. Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio. There you go. Okay, so I actually remembered. So, you know, we've already had Styles and Daniel Bryan. And, you know, this match didn't come off as well as we thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be way better than, you know, what it ended up being, you know, at TLC. It was a boring match. Boring. You know, whatever. I guess a competent, boring match, whatever it was. It was just boring, okay? None of this, you know, sugarcoat, oh, it was okay and everything. You know, I'm a Bryan fan. I'm an AJ fan. But match was boring. Didn't like it. Next. And so, you would think that maybe due to the fact that they've already had several matches already, like 3 matches, that we would move on since we've seen already. You know, wouldn't it be interesting to see Daniel Bryan go one-on-one with Rey Mysterio? Ooh, Rey's a face. Daniel Bryan's a heel. Perfect. Well, apparently not. It's not perfect. You know, maybe we'll, you know, maybe we'll get another match between Randy and Daniel Bryan. I know we've seen this enough, but, you know, maybe we'll see it. And no, apparently not. I don't know what the fuck Mustafa Ali's doing there. I mean, like, so let me get this straight. So Jeff Hardy has to qualify to get into the match, but Mustafa Ali doesn't. I guess because he pinned Bryan, you know, in a tag match. I mean, you know, it almost fucking gave him another concussion. He should be rewarded by being thrown to the... What is the point of him even being there? Like, honestly, I'm looking at this guy and I'm looking at his outfit. And he looks like a cheap indie wrestler that's trying to copy Seth Rollins. You know? Oh, man. You know, copying me is the sincerest form of flattery. I get it. You know. Oh, who was it that said it? Somebody commented saying when I make fun of Seth Rollins that, you know, I don't sound much better. Someone says that I screech when I talk. And to them I say, well, you know, I don't know. I guess you're butthurt over the fact that I do such a good Seth Rollins impression, right? I gotta admit, he does. He does a pretty good impression. I don't really like it, but it's good. You know, so there you go. It's officially endorsed by Seth Rollins. That's all you need to know, guys. That's all you need to know. So, yeah, there you go. So, another exciting chapter of Styles and Daniel Bryan is about to get underway. I guess it will be at the Royal Rumble, you know. What? So we're starting off 2019. You know, pretty much the same way that we start off 2018. Boring as shit. The Universal Champion not being there on Raw. Over here on SmackDown, you know, just still being boring, unentertaining, and, you know, still AJ Styles. Just, you know, like, I have no problem. Like, I'm not saying AJ doesn't belong in the main event, but nothing has really changed or progressed within the whole fucking year. So there you go, guys. There's your SmackDown review. Happy New Year. What a fresh start, right? Fresher than a daisy. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please hit a thumbs up, hit a thumbs down if you didn't. If you thought my voice was too screechy, you know, or something like that. If you don't like the Rollins impression, you know, hit a thumbs down and tell me why. Subscribe if you haven't already. Start off the new year by subscribing. Help me grow the channel. Hit the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. Check out some of the content I have posted here. And thank you for watching, guys. Until next time.